Hey guys, it's Molly. I wanted to get on here today and talk a little bit about food sensitivities. That is a big thing that you have to deal with when dealing with mold illness. Also, my cat Tom really wants to be part of this video apparently, so he's here too. There's Tom, everybody, special guest star. So the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I woke up today and was feeling really sick this morning. Unfortunately, I started my day with a cup of coffee like usual, and a little while after drinking my cup of coffee, I had to throw up a few times this morning. Coffee is very high in histamine, which is a substance that a lot of plants contain. And for some reason, when people develop mold illness, a lot of people who get that get sensitive to histamine and unable to deal with it. I think it's called histamine intolerance. So I had that really badly a couple years ago. It's been much better this year, and for the last couple months, my ability to tolerate coffee has been much better. So this kind of caught me by surprise, but every day is different and every week is different when you're recovering from mold illness. So sometimes your body just has a day where it can't tolerate something for some reason. Things can kind of change on a dime. I do use bulletproof coffee at home, which I really recommend something like that because it's tested for mold toxins and it's a clean coffee. So Bulletproof is a brand that does that. Another one is Danger Coffee. Another one is Kion, Kion coffee. And there are a few others out there that I can't remember right now, but those are the three that I have tried personally. So I do make sure to use a clean coffee too, because a lot of coffee does have mold or mold toxins in it, unfortunately. So it's definitely really important to look for a coffee that is screened for mold to make sure you're not getting that in your coffee. But aside from that, sometimes when you're on the mold illness recovery journey, you're just going to have a day where your body doesn't like something, like a certain food, because your immune system is really, really sensitive when you're on the mold illness recovery journey. And so sometimes you just start to react to foods that you eat often, or foods that have certain substances in them that are more difficult for the immune system for some reason, such as histamines, like I mentioned. So that was a fun way to start my day, just having to throw up for no apparent reason. I don't think I actually had like a stomach bug or anything. My body just decided to say no to coffee today in a very violent way. So I had to spend a lot of time resting today, and I'm feeling a lot better now. Thank goodness. I have been eating a lot of different things lately. Last year I was mostly on a keto diet, and then this year my symptoms have gotten a lot better. So I will admit that I have really been kind of eating whatever I want to recently, because I've had to spend so much of the last 10 years on very strict diets, just because of all these food sensitivities and these types of reactions. So once your body starts to be able to tolerate things better, it gets really, really tempting to just be able to eat whatever you want again. So I've been really doing that for the last few months, probably since pretty early in 2026. Really just eating whatever I wanted to, and it's been really nice to have that freedom again. But this is making me realize that since I am still treating the mold illness, I'm not done with that journey yet. I do want and need to get back on a more therapeutic diet. And for me, I think that's going to be the keto diet, because that has worked really well for me in the past. I just had gotten really excited about the ability to have more freedom with what I was eating, and I've really been kind of going pretty crazy over the last few months, like eating whatever I want. I actually work at a restaurant. I used to have a really high stress marketing career that I knew was hurting my recovery journey. So I cut way back on my marketing work and only do that here and there now. And my main job is working at a restaurant. So that does make it kind of hard to stay on a strict diet like keto because you're just around delicious food all the time and dessert. So there's lots of temptations around. But I do need to work on getting back on that keto diet because I know that it'll help me continue to heal. And for me, I've always had the most success getting on the keto diet when I do it slowly, like over a week or two, just kind of cutting back on sugar and carbs slowly, and, you know, kind of in a stepwise process, like maybe cutting out like bread and rice and just like having more fruit at first, and then slowly cutting that back to, not that you have to cut out fruit completely. You know, you can do the keto diet in a lot of different ways. But I'll make more videos about that later because I do think that the dietary changes are a huge part of healing from mold illness, and the keto diet can be really helpful. For me, it has been anyway. I'm not a dietitian, so I'm not saying that it's going to be the same for everybody, but for me, it has been really helpful as part of my healing journey, and it's something that I want to get back into and get back on more consistently so that I can keep making real progress. And not have to deal with these food sensitivities eventually. That's the hope. You guys, I will tell you that a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, probably at the height of my food sensitivities, all I could eat for maybe a month or 2 months at a certain time when my food sensitivities were really bad, the only thing I found that I could eat that my body did not reject were cashews. So there was at least a month where I was only eating cashews. And I'm not saying that this is what anyone should be doing, but that's just to say how wild these food sensitivities can get. It is just something else. It is crazy, but it's an immune reaction. So just gotta kind of ride the wave with this kind of thing and just keep going and keep fighting for your health. That's how I have to look at it. That's how I remind myself to look at it, because this can be really, I mean, it's really, really, really hard to be feeling sick all the time and then also not be able to enjoy little pleasures in life, like a cup of coffee, which I love. A cup of coffee has always been one of my favorite things, like small pleasures, and also not being able to enjoy like just like a comforting meal that's what you're in the mood for, that you have to instead stay on a really strict diet, and you're already feeling really sick at your baseline, so it's hard to not have, you know, comfort food to kind of make you feel a little bit better. But this is a fight for your health, and your health is worth fighting for. I tell myself that my health is worth fighting for. My life is worth fighting for. And that is how I'm looking at this. And just got to keep going. And despite these challenges, this is the shirt I'm wearing because this is true. It's a great day to be you. Just remember that.